Okie dokie, here we go. Right. Hello and welcome to a very exciting episode of the Disco Elysium podcast Human Can Opener. My guest today is video game royalty. Some of you may know him as Sisyphus Prime in Ultra Kill. He is also featured in Wired Productions game Falconeer. He is part of the Voice Elysium, led by Disco Elysium voice director Mikey Goodman. Not only that, we have a vast soul in the form of the frontman to ska band Maroon Town. But of course, this man is joining me today to talk about Disco Elysium. And as the legendary narrator for the game, talking disco is what he is all about. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome Mr. Lenval Brown.
Hello, thank you for the kind words and warm welcome. Brilliant, it's great to be here, opening the can with you.
Thank you, very good play on the words. I can tell you, no one's as excited or nervous, I think, as I am, but hopefully we'll get through plenty of interesting stuff. So what I generally try to do, I mean, I say try to do like it's a trend, we're only on the second episode, but what my aim is to kind of go through some get to know you questions. However, you would have seen the response online has been absolutely crazy. So I think as this is community driven in the first place, I want to make sure that they get the platform that they deserve.
Okay.
So I will ask a few. I've got a handful of questions that I really want to ask you. So we'll go through those first and then...
Yeah.
Okay. So first things first.
Brilliant.
Everyone's obviously itching to know about Disco Elysium, but I'd like to start, if you don't mind, with Maroon Town. Now, I've never been as big into ska as some of my peers are, so it wasn't immediately familiar to me, Maroon Town, but doing some digging. You're an 8-piece ska band dating back to, well, the first album was 30 years ago, over 30 years ago. So tell me, how does a young Lenval Brown get into ska and music?
It's a long story. Well, actually, I started with rap. I used to do rap in 80s, a long time ago. I'm sure a lot of the people here don't know the ages. Yeah. With a friend of mine, Guy Beagle, and we sort of just started, because there was a kind of like hip hop thing from America, New York, and all the kids, so wanted to get into the scene. So we would just, everyone did something. There would be graffiti artists. There'll be like, dancers, break dance, and what we done when we rapped, as part of the keep art making beating from the thing. And then later on, I met, maybe a few years later, I'd stopped doing the rap thing with my friend, and I used to work in a college, in a university bar, and I met who was in a band, and he wanted to put ska music with rap, and we had to have this little collaboration, and it went from there, really. It's sort of like early 90s sort of thing. So just go into it like that, just in a kind of a way, you're just sort of just doing it, for fun, but we started to get calls and stuff like that, and doing gigs, so just kept with it, and that basically grew. Done some great gigs.
Yeah, I suppose I always think that whenever I see anyone displaying talent, I always go back to, they were all just kids messing around. Every single one of them, whether it's sport.
Yeah, but basically having fun.
Yeah.
Doing it because at the time you're doing it for fun, not because anyone's pressuring to do it, or because you've seen something to do it that's a path to success or to make money or anything like that. It's just like, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. You got that line? Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, that sounds, and that's how music is. Starts like that, and then obviously when you realise that you can make some money out of it, then you sort of doing it the whole way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, nothing good came out of something that didn't have that passion in the first place, did it? You got to really enjoy it.
Absolutely.
And it was, pretty successful, I think. I'm going to reel off some facts here. This is, you called it research. I won't give myself the same credit. I read the Spotify blurb for the band, I have to be honest. But there's some good information there, which really, anyone who reads the band page is immediately intrigued, right? So, 5 albums since the debut High and Dry in 1990. Toured worldwide. Songs featured in movies. I couldn't find which movies, so maybe you can fill us in on that.
So, and that's on that side, I'm not even sure myself because somebody else deals with all that.
Yeah, I suppose it's one of those things that you probably hear about it, don't
you? Somebody's told me, but I didn't like. Oh wow, it's not. Probably wasn't a big.
Yeah.
It's somebody's project,
Yeah.
Still a project, movie.
Hey, look,
it's a movie still
counts.
They all count.
You were the recipient of the UK's biggest sponsorship deal for an indie band at the time, 100 grand from Dr. Martens. So those who don't know, they make the black leather boots, quite famous. I'd be amazed if anyone didn't know. Were you aware of that?
Yeah. I remember, a lot of it, because actually, so we got so I think we wrote to them and said, we got this great song, because we had this song that me and my friend, when we used to rap, we made this song about Dr. Martens, because, you had Run DMC, and they had, like, my Adidas, more British than Dr. Martens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Dr. Martens, and then we took that to the band, and then a few years later, so it's been in like, it's been mid to late 90s. So approached them and nervous, they just somehow got us a deal, and so we recorded an album. They couldn't record an album with the money, and it's just whilst on the platform. Because after that, we started to get sponsorship from not sponsorship, but representing the British Council. So we were touring a lot after that, in careers that were British Council had offices there. We would go and play in like India and
that's interesting. It's amazing that one thing kind of sparked what sounds basically like the world tour, pretty much.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, kind of lucky in a way. But as I say, when we do gigs, that's the kind of thing you do a gig and you give your best every time, and something will come out of it. It's not like and that's how we've always been. It's to do your best, and then usually it's for thing gigs we get gigs. Not necessarily for people listening to our music or whatever.
Yeah, you put on a show and people are happy.
That's that. Yeah.
So one other thing I think is worth mentioning in the notes I've made there. John Bradbury from The Specials worked with you on one of the albums. So anyone who's really into ska will hear that and be excited.
Yeah, absolutely. We worked with John. So that would have been on High and Dry. So a 1990 album. I think we probably recorded it in 89. And so he someone in the band rather than just asked him. I think they just asked him, would you to produce our album? And he said, yeah. And so he did. Great, met him, was like a really great guy. Sadly, he passed away recently.
But
really, really, really guy. He really tried to help us. He didn't have to, that's because we like to.
It feels like something that could only happen around 89, right? Like you wouldn't get that kind of answer now at all. You wouldn't even have the access, really, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's right, exactly. He's a great guy and a great heart.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Now this one is very rock and roll. I'd love to know what the hell happened here. So, apparently, 27 inmates had escaped jail after one of your performances in Jamaica. That's all the detail I have. What is that story?
I really don't know anything about 27 inmates escaping. I did hear a story that people escaped after we'd played. It wasn't that day.
Okay.
It wasn't the next day. It was sometime. It was nothing to do with us. We didn't have the keys. We didn't. I think we can organise some kind of rebellion in there. But what we did do, we played inside the prison, in a place called Gun Court. So it's a gun court. So you can imagine the prisoners in there were like really bad prisoners, apparently. But we went in there, and I thought prisons did like artwork and everything. So we bought pieces of artwork and stuff. But then we were playing a gig in there, so we played the inside we weren't allowed any cameras or anything, so we couldn't take any pictures. Played inside there, so the band's playing, and then these really inmates.
Yeah.
And they're but they're having a great time, and so one of the guys goes, make them play the drums, you know what I mean? So, we give them the drums, one inmates, and then put another one on the bass, and then we're going to start singing. And before you know it, it was the inmates doing their own little jam, it was just, it's just a shame to take the pictures. It was really a great, bring that to them. Because, in England also we played in a prison in England, Brixton prison years ago. And we played in Kazakhstan. So we played in a prison in Kazakhstan.
Wow.
So it's in the deep prisons. It was in Kazakhstan. It was a young offenders institute. And there's actually, if you probably if you look on YouTube, Maroon Town, it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
It's online. You can see the prisoners. Young boys, they're like 15 to 18, maybe a bit younger.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting down, and they're all told to sit down. And we started playing, and then we get them to get up and dancing, and they're all dancing. It's just like crazy scenes, man. It's amazing to bring that to these people who don't expect.
Yeah, I've got my issues with how prison basically dehumanizes people in a way, particularly in our countries, and I think something like that where actually they're still entitled to joy. People make mistakes, and this. It's I think some of the.
We felt like that Johnny. I don't know if you see Johnny Cash used to do that years ago and play.
That's right. Yeah.
Like Johnny Cash,
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so you didn't break free loads of inmates. That's good.
We weren't responsible for but maybe we inspired them.
Maybe you didn't start the fire. You may have sparked something. Maybe I don't know.
We're sorry.
All right, that's really, really cool. Sounds like, it's probably for another podcast one day that we talk about the entire history of Maroon Town, but we will nicely segue into some video game stuff now. So we obviously spoke on the phone ahead of the podcast and when we were planning it, and you did mention that you don't have as much time to play video games anymore, which obviously suggested to me that you were a big fan of video games and still are. So can you tell us a little bit about what kind of history with video games you had growing up and more recently?
I was growing up already, but I was probably I think my third encounter. So probably kind of game. It's just like one line, and it's like a race or something. And it's the cute and Sonic. Oh yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic is still going now. When there was limited games and you just played whatever it was.
Yeah.
So you would be grown now playing Sonic, when it was, kids thing in a way, but then actually video games were for everyone. So everyone played it, adults and kids, whatever game it was. And then, we used to, then later on, I suppose we used to play things like Street Fighter, my friends, and then we would sit around in the room and play. Nowadays people play online, but, back in the day, we'd sit around 20 of us in the front room, and one console, 2 controllers.
Yeah, we've lost that magic. We've lost a bit of that magic now, haven't we? That gathering around one small little CRT television.
Yeah, that's right. And then later on, I would play things like maybe strategy, maybe Command and Conquer. things like that,
Yes.
and that sort of thing, and maybe Football Manager,
Yeah.
things that were taxing. As I say, there was maybe before that as well. We play things like track and field,
Mm-hmm.
they're like physical, and Tekken. Tekken was a big one. Like Tekken, maybe more that was in like ideas,
Yeah.
which is the right matches, and one where we sit around and you have to be really good at that because there's a long wait.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because people got good pretty quick, didn't they? Just one small question to ask you because you mentioned Football Manager. I have to know who your football team is now, Lenval.
Okay, you need to know it's Liverpool.
Okay. Well, don't worry about me. I'm a West Brom fan, so I'm insignificant.
Yeah, no, a long time. Yeah,
and they're doing well this season actually as well. I think they're gonna be all right. My little
that's
boys
something for another pod.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I could talk about that. I could talk about that all day as well.
Yeah, no.
All right, so
Me too.
let's talk a little bit about voice acting. All right, so we talked a bit about your musical pursuits. Where did the idea? I mean, would you even call yourself a voice actor? Because I know that a lot of the stuff has been sort of narration stuff. Do you consider yourself a voice actor first of all?
Actually, don't.
Hmm.
I can try to do stuff in an acting way, but for me, it's more narration. It's more about the voice and that delivery, the explanation, the way of explaining things, and the detail. And the detail. I could put that into acting, but as I said, if I had a role option to try and do, but I wouldn't consider myself as a voice actor because I'm not trained to act. You know what I mean? It's emotions, acting in some emotions.
Mm.
So we've got the emotions, those emotions. And some people naturally, so certain emotions I probably haven't got because I haven't experienced them. And if you're an actor, you've gone from that to feel those emotions or those kind of experience.
You channel something, don't you?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily an actor, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
More a narrator. Yeah. So, so
So
I'm not.
So where did the idea first come from? So I know that Mikey Goodman's got musical connections. I'm taking a guess and adding two and two together here. Was that how it all came about? What's the story there?
Well, unfortunately, you're calculating miscalculation. Actually, it was I have no ambitions to be a voice actor, but I mean, I suppose as you're growing up, you want to be an actor or something. I was in music, so it was not like an unnatural thing to do. It felt quite natural to me while I was doing it. When you go on the stage, you're more or less acting because it's not you; it's kind of alter ego out there. Just can't you being yourself in a way that you can't be yourself in normal life. You can't start screaming and shouting and jumping like that around normally. That's saved for the stage. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I didn't actually think I'm going to be a voice actor or anything. But as I said, I was up for everything and anything. So, I didn't know Mike before, and so working with this first accountants.
So how did that question come about then?
You mean now I got into
how did you end up with Disco Elysium?
By chance. I just through a friend of mine asked me to engage someone like, in fact, I might as well say Karakenda. So he was like an executive producer on the game.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine knew him, and he was looking for someone to do it. The trailer, the initial trailer.
Okay.
And she had suggested me for she heard someone has attempted a trailer. She just thought that my voice would be better for it. But he didn't know me, so but I think they might have listened to what they had and thought, well, let's see if we can try something else, and then gave me a try over the phone, and they liked my voice, and as they say, the rest is history.
It's so that would have been So obviously the narration didn't come in until the final cut, right? But was the trailer?
Yeah.
Was it a final cut trailer?
Yes, it was a trailer for the release of the game, because it was September in 19 that the game was released.
Yeah.
Or October, and it was September. They needed a trailer, so it was like for the trailer for the game itself. And then, I told the trailer, and they liked my voice. It was Jim there, Jim Sheffy, and Kendra, and Mikey was there as well. Initial, but Mikey was always, involved.
Yeah.
From the beginning of things. And so, and so they said, and I was at the time, so I done the trailer. At the same time, I said, "Oh, could you do the full cabinet, doing all of it? It's gender and that kind of stuff." Obviously, I didn't know what the hell it was all about. I just said it. They said, "Okay," said, "Okay," so yeah, blah blah blah. And maybe the next day or the day after, they said, "Oh, what is do more? What do you objects or something like that?" And then they said, "Oh no, well, you should do the skills."
Mm.
"Oh no, can you do the skills and could you do generation?" And well, yeah, okay. So,
and then it just grew from there. You just kept saying yes to stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It was like.
So the first time someone said, "Can you read volumetric shit compressor?" must have been pretty weird.
Yeah, yeah.
Because obviously you didn't have a lot of context, right? You were just...
No, absolutely. I didn't have no context at all. It was just talking about, okay, I'll say it like that. No, like this. Okay, if you say like this, okay, I'll say it like that. Oh, great. Okay, if you say more like that, okay, I will. That's more or less how it went, and just picked up from there. So the more I said, the more they wanted me to do.
Was there any point...
I think mainly inspired by...
Was there any point, I'm like, were you handed a script, or was it sort of session by session? Okay, we've got this now, and we've got this. Like, what's the setup there when you're doing all of that?
Well, the thing is, you get scripts beforehand, because I have to have the scripts. I had to have the scripts because so many words and so many. I didn't have to remember it. I just had to know how I'm going to say it. So ultimately, I have to make sure that I've got at least a few thousand words already read. I've already read.
Yeah.
That I sort of marked up how I'm going to say it, or whatever lines or words that I don't know, and I have to find out how to say them. So there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
So there was that. So there's a lot of, homework as such, before every session, like day before. I mean, I would already, if I, maybe 3 days a week I was doing the recording, but for 4 days, the other 4 days I was reading, It's like if I weren't recording, I was reading.
So it was like full-time, basically, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it was ordering on full-time, yeah. I mean, a few days off here and there, it was like 3 days a week and sometimes 2 days. And if we missed some time, then we probably might do 4 days, but it was very difficult. 8 hours a day, 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Intensity.
Yeah, I can imagine. So I don't know if you were aware of this little fact. So Disco Elysium has something like 1 million words in its script, because you're basically paying for a book, right? I think is fair to say about Disco Elysium. Reportedly, you voiced 350,000 lines of dialogue. The record for lines of dialogue in any game is 500,000-ish in Red Dead Redemption 2, which was obviously a big Rockstar production, but that was split across 1,000 voice actors. So it's sounding, I mean, anyone can fact check me and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds to me like you may have some sort of record for an individual recording an amount of lines of dialogue in a single production.
You're saying 350,000 lines. Actually, it's 350,000 words. But that makes a
Okay.
difference.
350,000 words. Okay, so I've been fact
There was
checked.
300 lines. Yep, I had to do that. It would have been nice to have said, 350,000 words, and I did 1,000,000 words. But no, I've done 350. I think it's 341,000 because I've got it in my diary somewhere. But I
Either
write down all
way,
my figures.
it's pretty.
Yeah, it's a lot of words. It's a lot. I mean, it took a lot.
Yeah, it's and well, I think you are Disco Elysium, and I wonder if any of this at any point sunk in. Have you ever kind of felt the impact of what you've done in the game and realised that the magnitude of it?
Kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't suppose you say sink in, but not really, because it's not really here. It's like, I mean, there are people like it, I mean, a lot of people like it, But yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, really appreciate, the love I'm getting. That's all I can describe it as. It's beautiful, and and I'm not, wouldn't say that I'm not.
You're humble about it,
it's
aren't
kind
you?
of weird because I appreciate, it's just like, I'm very like, I don't know what to say. I really appreciate it, and as I said, when I did the game, I put everything into it. I gave it everything, and I tried my best to make it, as explanatory, because that was my idea. To, in the way I'm going to do it, is to make it more of an explanation than acting. So I'm explaining it. I'm not getting too emotionally here or there. Especially, except on some characters, electrochemistry, you might get with emotion there, or maybe off physical issue and those kind of things. But mainly it was just to, just to get the explaining it as a story, but then at the same time making it clear, because also in my head was like, well, it's okay, international, so I've got to make all the words clear, everything clear.
Yeah.
Everything. The only way to try and keep it consistent in a way, but having the subtle differences with the characters.
I was going to say, I wanted to remark that I think you do yourself a slight disservice by explaining that you weren't really an actor, and you kind of went for simple explanation. I think you found quite a bit of nuance actually between the skills, and people have remarked on that in the community, and people automatically know. And I think it's, for me, I think it's split kind of 4 ways between the different colour things. I kind of always know when you're speaking like
definitely, because there was definitely the 4 or 6 4 different things. So in direction was these group is the same sort of character. So you just make the subtle difference from there, but then the bigger differences is with the others. I can't remember the groups that are in.
It's intellect, physique, psyche, and motorics. So it would have been blue is all your smart stuff.
Yeah. I select. Yeah, that's right. Logically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, it was set as such, so it made it easier in that respect. So I could so they didn't want to be completely different, because that was the kind of difficult thing that I was like, I was doing, bloody hell, this sounds like the other one, This is like, is anyone really gonna like this?
Well, that was the thing. It's
really?
Actually, it's like 24 skills actually would have been way harder to kind of, particularly like composure and perception. Just 2 examples. I think you'd really struggle to find differences between how those 2 are supposed to like act in your head. So I think, I think
right. It's funny, but so also at the time of recording, it's to try and get it consistent, because we might do, say, physical instrument, and there might not be as much physical instrument as something else. So you could do it in a day or 2, maybe, whatever. But then there'd be something that's really long, like, I don't know, it was really long Shivers or something. Shivers, it's loads and loads. So, I can't remember what is the most lines.
I think it's empathy or rhetoric.
Empathy, something.
One of them, yeah.
Something like, but they're all in the same, that's them kind of categories at the most chat.
Yeah.
Because they're, talk literally shivers.
Yeah.
So when you've got those 2 or 3 days of that, then it's kind of you get into it, then you go into the next one, and you're still having to. So you have to you do blocks of maybe an hour or whatever, then you stop or whatever. But then you have to go back and listen to it again, to something again till I stay in that one, because it's kind of
you'd have to kind of go back and
to try and keep
yourself consistent.
Maybe, but maybe, as I say, somewhat, consistency. Yeah, I mean, some of them will, they with shivers, and Halflight maybe, you can get the consistency. But I can't quite remember. It was a long time ago, but I do kind of recalling that some are more difficult than others.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, my T-shirt, by the way.
I love it. Yeah, we must actually point out to everybody watching that is easily the coolest T-shirt that anyone's ever seen. And whenever we mention HDB or Harry Dubois as the name, people often say, "What are you talking about? That's Raphael." Was that gifted to you?
Oh yes, that was gifted to me.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen it for sale.
I might elaborate later. No, you won't get this for sale.
Lucky. I'm very jealous. So you're very proud of it now.
My only possession. My only reminder.
Is it really? Did you not get any goodies out of? No.
No, I did not. I didn't ask for any. Probably could have done, but.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's nice anyway. Thank you for sharing that T-shirt. Yeah. Right. So, just got 5 questions from me, and then we'll go into community questions, of which there is quite a lot. I'd be interested to know how much you can tell me about these next ones. So, it was widely reported that a sequel was planned for the game. Some of the news stories recently confirmed that. Were you ever invited back to be involved with a sequel by Zaum?
You see, the story behind this T-shirt is that they had maybe a get together in May, maybe 2 years ago, to announce to everyone about the game. It was going ahead. It was going ahead, and I was there. I was invited.
Yep.
So to me, that said, "You're going to be in the game."
Okay.
Yeah, great. So was chatting and everything. And everything was lined up to do it, but unfortunately, as everybody knows, something that happened, and it was canned.
Yes, makes me very sad, Lenval.
Yes, makes you.
Yeah.
Sad. I feel devastated, man.
You were about to start charging £5 a word.
That's right. It was going up a sliding scale. Yeah, but it's unfortunate. But as I said, and everyone who went to that event got one of these T-shirts. So that's why they're very rare, these T-shirts. That's why I'm wearing it now, because
that's the only evidence.
Proves that I was having it.
Yeah. Of course. So did they have any idea of where the story was going, or was that just not thrashed out yet?
Well, I mean, they didn't reveal that, but they were still, they're the writers, and they were writing, they were in the middle of writing, and, I spoke with some of the guys there, and they let you know, they started this or started that. I don't know what it was about, because that was a secret. That was definitely a secret, what it was about. Nobody knew that.
What a shame. I suppose the only person I could probably get to tell me about it would be Robert himself.
Yeah, and Robert. Robert himself. He would know.
I would assume anyway. I'd be worried if he didn't. No, I just want whatever court case is happening between those guys. I just want them. It's hard, I know, because it's legal and law and stuff, so you can't force anything with that. But I just want them to sort it out and everybody just be happy. That's all I want from life in general, Lenval.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. I mean, yeah, you just want everything to be happy, but that's a wish that may never happen. Who knows?
I suspect we'll
Who
never
knows?
I suspect we'll never see it again, but we live in hope.
Oh, only it's no, but sometimes like what's the name? Oasis, they got back together.
It's a good
Oasis.
do you know what? That's going to be the tagline. If Oasis can sort, if like Noel and Liam Gallagher can sort out their differences, then
I can sort out their differences.
Yeah, then
there's a lot less money at stake.
Zaim can sort it out. And that is the thing that puzzles me about.
Yeah, that's right.
What's happened to the IP? I always think you've got. I think the first game was lightning in a bottle, and I would have loved to have seen, because there's been interviews and stuff where they said what they actually had ambitions to do compared to what they were able to achieve, obviously with limitations like money and time and everything else. They felt that they could do way more with whatever next iteration they did. And I always find it fascinating that so many people were able to let that slip. Do you know what I mean? And there was enough motivation for it to be an absolute classic, but c'est la vie. What is, will be.
Yeah, c'est la vie.
Yeah.
That be.
Do you still keep in touch? So,
Indeed.
The Voice Elysium is Mikey Goodman's company. Obviously, he found something he was very passionate about on the back of Disco Elysium. So I just wonder, you're listed on the roster for the Voice Elysium. Yeah. Do you still speak and keep in touch with those guys? Are they all happy?
Say those guys. The only person I'm in touch with is Mikey.
Okay.
Goodman. Yeah, I mean, we worked extensively in studios. He was engineering. And so we was together every day. During that time, which was actually during lockdown.
Of course.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I mean, but since then, I've done a few jobs with Mikey, because I said he's got his agency and they'll often get me a few auditions and stuff.
I suppose how I'm imagining it.
Trying to get me some jobs and stuff.
I'm imagining it the wrong way here. I've seen a roster on the Voice Elysium and imagine you all sat in an office just recording lines together. But it's not like that at all, is it?
And that sort of, work is few and far between.
Well,
I mean, Mikey, to be honest with you, Mikey, that's his business, and he does a lot of stuff. He's a very talented guy, very good, very funny, very can do so many different voices and stuff. It's great.
I mean, this is the Lenval Brown episode, and Mikey has assured me he'll come on. But I think, seeing as we mentioned how talented he is, I find it so impressive that he's kind of gone from in Sixth, obviously his band. Back in the day, early 2000s, around that time where that music was really, really popular, and seems to have just gone from, like, he's one of those people, it seems to me, that just has this creative spark about him, and as long as he's creating, he's flourishing.
And definitely, he's always on something. He's constant, and it's great. Got great energy.
Yeah.
As I said, we were always have fun. Always have a laugh, and he's funny guy. He's really good. As I said, he's got to do impressions of people.
Is he?
Just like general. I know if he's telling a story, then he'll do the person.
Yeah.
And he'll do this really well. And he'll do it really well. It's just like he's laughing. I'm like crying. And laughing.
He sounds like fun. I'm looking forward to speaking to Mikey.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we kind of covered some of the other topics where, how hopeful are we that we'll see Harry or Elysium. We kind of covered that one day. I think people would like to know, and I'd like to know. So, did you get much time with the original creators and the writing team? And if so, what were they like?
Really, to know anyone at the writing except for Helen.
Okay.
Because she would often be on the other end of the line when we needed, sort of advise on some words or some scenes, So that was probably the closest I came to any of the writers. So she would give us the pronunciations for certain words and stuff.
So it's
really,
purely professional then, basically.
Advisory, just something. Yeah, purely professional. I never met them at all socially. Most of the time, I think they were out of the country or whatever. By the time I was recording, they remember it's lockdown.
Of course.
So, I didn't really see anyone. I only saw Mike and Cash Decur was a director and he was online. We were doing it through source. Online. So Mikey in the studio and then Cash online, and that was it for like the whole of lockdown. I think we've done from April and that year, so it was April 2020 till November. Not every week, but most weeks, 3 days a week, most weeks.
Yeah.
And then we've done some more the following year, 2021 in January, finished it off, and then there was some more stuff in. But yeah, over the year, over 1 year, done a record everything.
Wow. I always forget those years where it was lockdown and just how much we had to do to accommodate just normal stuff. It was crazy, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's crazy, really. Yeah. But I was lucky enough to be doing that in lockdown because I don't know what I'd done,
Yeah, good point.
In terms of work, something to do, keep you sane, keep you going.
Yeah, absolutely. I was working from home, and we hadn't really done working from home, and it was just like how do we even do this? It was very, very strange.
Strange.
Right, so community questions. Okay, these are there's a lot. Okay, but I think, and I know that you can't remember everything about what you did with the game. But if we can try and answer them as best we can. So I had a question from fellow YouTuber and creator Jamrock Hober, who was, of course, on the first episode of Human Can Opener.
Yep.
He asked me a question, which I thought we should probably get out of the way now.
Yeah. Fire away.
He said, how does it feel to talk to the voice of your favourite game? And my answer is, do you know what? Nowhere near as daunting or as scary as I ever expected. I think you're a pretty relaxed guy, and even when I spoke to you on the phone a couple of weeks ago, instantly I was just like, well, we're just a bunch of people, right? That's all we are. Yeah, but I do think part of it is there's a familiarity about your voice. Obviously, I've played the game tons of times, so I hear you all the time, right? So it was kind of like weirdly familiar.
It's very good to me.
Yeah, so, but I do think one thing I will say about that and the familiarity of your voice, and just try and reflect what I think myself and a lot of fans feel about what you brought to the game and to the story for many of us, is that those of us that really love the game and are passionate about it, most of us have some connection to like a part of the story, parts of the game, certain scenarios, etc. And through all of those things, it was your voice that took them through it. So there's some tricky topics like love, heartbreak, death, suicide, alcoholism, drug problems, kids on the, bottom of society, etc. Now, all walks of life will resonate with that, and you were obviously, a huge part of that being told. There are even, YouTube videos, for example, which are just a collection of volition lines, and there are stories of people who go to them just to kind of realign themselves and realize that they're going to be okay. So, yeah, in summary, I have to pinch myself about the whole podcast in general, to be honest, because the people who are part of the game have been really, really nice to me, really accommodating, including yourself, of course. But yeah, no, to answer the question, not as bad as I thought. Yeah, I don't.
Pieces. It's terrible. Mumbling it. And so what? Mr. Brown.
Yeah, can you imagine? It wouldn't have made a very good podcast, would it? I think.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm relaxed, and it's nice to speak to you. we're ordinary people. We're all just, doing the same thing, getting on in life, and everybody wants to be liked.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, we're doing our best. We're doing our best. No, it's amazing, and I don't think. I think the thing that has really, really made me happy is that when you start something like a podcast, it's scary. Speaking from my experience, you don't know how it's going to land, and the fact that we've been able to start it on such a really solid footing. People are going to be seeing that the main guy from Disco Elysium is a guest, and it's honestly, I can't thank you enough for how big a boost it will give.
Appreciate me not to come. Yeah, I mean it's great, and to be here to talk about it, because I like talking about it.
Yeah,
and as I say, I've had a few people follow me on Twitter lately, and they have been following it all along. But it's like it's growing, so it's like Disco isn't dead.
Yeah,
Disco's very much alive.
Yeah, and do you know what? You're right.
And, and the community, out there is very, the way the game has affected their lives, say, in certain ways and emotions, and the people, as you say, with Gem Hobos, putting video, which I've seen, say, finishing us up there, and I listen to it myself from time to time. It's very positive. It's very positive. Not that I don't read this too sometimes, but I've heard it, and it is a very positive, message comes from the game, and it's if I can help with people's positivity, man. Well, I've got it in abundance. Just go for it. Just take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. There is also a compilation of Halflight for those of us that don't. Those of us who want to.
I've seen that one. Yeah, it's a bit more. It's a bit more downbeat. Yeah.
Something for everyone, though, Lenval. That's the main thing.
It's more off. It's more authentic, really.
Yeah. Right then. So, community questions. Just disclaimer for anybody excited to hear their question or their name read out. There were so many, and there was lots of overlap. So if I forget your name or if I don't include your question, I'm really sorry, but we tried to get in as many as we could. So Hislapsy, Far, Soup, and Rompanarbor, this is the problem with usernames, they're all bonkers, right? They all asked, which skill was your favourite to voice?
Well, I've been asked this before, and much of the time, when I think about it, it is actually shivers, because is it sort of encapsulates everything, to me, it's just the city speaking, because it was kind of felt easier to do because it was more calm, and it just slow and low, and everything's going to be all right, if you just take it all in and see what's going on, and maybe even calculus as well, similar one, where you can just observe.
Yeah.
Observe, and then from that observation point, she was one that stands out. I mean, maybe there's others, but maybe not stand out as much. Maybe drama as well was one, because that one was, you could tell when Harry's lying, or when people are lying, or whatever. So it was like, really.
And you got to say sire.
Sort of, yes.
Yeah.
And I can use that. Even when they put in the S.
Yeah, it's amazing, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you know, Shivers and Esprit de Corps are my two favourites, because they kind of take you to a story somewhere else, right?
Yeah, that's right, exactly. It's like all seeing, and takes you away. It's like a mood.
Yeah.
Maybe more moody than anything else.
Yeah. Big fan favourites, so people will be really glad that you like them.
Excellent.
We kind of touched on this already, Lenval. A few people asked about, you can often distinguish each skill from your voice. As I said earlier, I think it's probably more each skill set rather than each individual skill. So That came from Ton G, Cup of Tea, Formaldehyde Boofer, and Father Pork on Twitter and YouTube. So was it natural or were you directed?
Okay. Well, thank you for those questions, guys. I would like to say your names again, but I...
Don't worry, they're written in stone now.
Names, but... That's right. So, well, yeah, I suppose I'm glad that people recognise that there is a difference between them, because I did try very hard to make sure. Obviously, sometimes during it, it was maybe I didn't quite get it because it was probably 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and we wanted to make that 1,000 words in an hour.
Yeah,
and we were pushing it. But yeah, I mean, but most of the time, yeah, we got it, and it wasn't really natural. It was natural doing it, but it was directed. You know,
yeah.
it was like I said, does this work or does that work? It was like, can you do it like this? And so I did it. So maybe something would be in a lower register than something else, but really, and so it might be a bit slower than others. Let's just try and get some subtle differences between each one about the character. Because obviously I'll get a write-up about Shivers and what Shivers does, and so I would, base it on that character write-up.
Yeah.
And then take it from there.
Thank you for answering that. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So this is quite a few people asked this one in various different wordings, but so if it doesn't sound like your question, it's just because it would kind of along the same lines. Orange with Eyes, Hungo Bungo, Stushy, Ferris Rat, and J14N on various social medias. Were there any particular lines or scenes that took a while to get finished? For example, if you found it really funny, or if it touched on a more controversial topic, was there anything that was quite tough to get through?
Thanks for the questions again. More questions. Well, so I suppose, yeah, I did do some Greek words in it. So I don't know how many people can, hola. Yeah, and it was, Theondos, something like that. I remember that so much because I actually had to, so I got the words for that. But then when they gave me the words, they gave me a phonetic, pronunciation. And when I was saying it, it just didn't sound right. And then when I was recording it was just like, and then I'd get someone from the writers or whatever to, do it for me, but they didn't. So I actually had to take it home and take it to a Greek friend of mine. And they said, oh, this is ancient Greek. But it's not just Greek, it's ancient Greek. So pronunciation is specific. She's Greek, so she got me through and told me all the, from it, and then she recorded it, and I listened to it. And then when I was in the studio, I was listening to it while I was recording it so that I could get it right. And it was difficult. Quite a lot of it. I mean, maybe 2 lines, but it's like 1 million lines. And yeah, so that was probably, because most of it, as I say, is just right. Maybe there'll be some words or some made up words of people, and then always forgetting how to say it, or I'd say it a certain way, then they'd say, oh no, you've been saying it wrong, so we have to go through it all and do those ones again. But luckily Mike is very good with the technical side, so he did drop in words or something if
so
if we be familiar with things like that. But yeah, pronunciations, and actually there was a second part to the question.
Yeah, I just wondered if there was anything that, so there's obviously some controversial topics, or maybe triggering topics is probably more accurate. So did you ever struggle with stuff that talked about, there was things that obviously referenced suicide, alcoholism, the moments with Dora?
Really? Well, the thing is that because as I was recording the game, I didn't have the story. I didn't know what it was about. I was just, of game context. And, they get a sheet and then they have the scene of, what it is it the orb or something, or the church scene or something, then it'd be, just somewhere to there, or the tribunal or something, these scenes. But, as I didn't know what was going on, to me, it's just words.
Yeah.
It's the, Mikey and the other people linking everything together.
Got you.
It. I didn't have any words before saying what the person said before.
Yeah,
this is the line. All my lines there, and I just said them as I thought they should be said. That's it. And if I said it wrong, then Cash or Mikey, but mainly Cash, would stop me and say, he's got it wrong, but he actually means this, or actually means that. Oh yeah, okay, I've got a wrong idea, or
Yeah.
So just slight adjustments, but it wasn't very often. It was like not much interjection. Once I got it going, then it was all right until I made a mistake. Actually made a mistake.
Yeah, I think this is the thing that fans probably, this is seen under the hood. Whereas us as fans, we think, kind of going back to my Office comment, we kind of think that there's this circle of people working on the game. We're all, writing and doing lines and having a fun time reading some of the daft stuff that they put into the story. But actually, I imagine it's the same for all voice actors, is that you go in, you record your lines based on direction, and then you see the final product is the final product. Yeah.
It comes out well.
Yeah, well, it did. So,
yeah, it's just fortunate. It's fortunate. Not that, but yeah, I mean, it's good that everyone worked, and they knew how to have. Because obviously it's a lot of things. Because obviously Michael was also recording other people as well, plus himself, and recording other people. So there was a lot of work some of the guys had to do to put this together. It's just amazing. I mean, what I've done, yeah, but really it's just like nothing really compared to some hours that some other people put in to get this together.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah, it's a good point. Mikey must have been trying to juggle all kinds.
All sorts learning all the time. He was on it constantly, So when I'm left there, sometimes in the studio I'm left and he do some editing, and so we went up. Now, I'm staying in London at the times, nearby to the studio, so you could probably stay a couple of hours later to do the editing just to keep up. And then, might have someone in, like the days I wasn't in, he'd have someone else in. So if I was in 3 days a week, he'd have people in the other 2 days.
Yeah, so he was non-stop.
So he was non-stop.
So Mehonizer, I think that says, I'm not sure, the Long Fredder and No Park on Reddit and Twitter. They wanted to know if you'd actually played through the game.
I didn't finish it, but I've played it. I started playing it maybe a year or so ago, or 2 years ago. Time flies. And I played it for about 30 hours, and I didn't seem to really get past Measure Head. I went across the island, and I couldn't get through this door, and I thought, man, and then all of a sudden I couldn't play no more because just time just caught up on me from then. Then I'm just beat right now. I'll have to take it up another time. So it's still there, waiting for me to finish. So one day when I've got the time, energy, and patience, but I mean, I've got to hand it to you guys out there. Each can play it for hours and hours, and and play it more than once. Which is brilliant. I mean, to really do that. And I wish I could. I wish I had time. But what I do believe though is no matter how many times you play it, you're never going to have the same kind of experience. It's all different each time.
That's
so because I played it. So I started one game. I think I started when I got the game, when I was doing it, when I was recording it. I thought, well, I should play it.
Yeah.
I could get an idea of it. And I started playing it, but play it and then recording as well. And every day, every session, I had to make sure that I was there. So, when I finished the session in the evening, I'd be at home, reading and writing up, because that's the more how I'm going to say things, how to deliver the lines, There's so many words, I can't just remember it and then just go and deliver it the next day. And the more actor or something,
Yeah.
It's all read, but I had to make sure that, because it's much easier to read it once I've read it before and marked, references, which words I should say loud or where I should put a gap, or just to make it easier to flow. It flows more easily than having the words in front of you with all right, here's the words, and then trying to read them and say them at the same time. it just, you know, it's possible, and it's possible, but it really hurts the brain.
Yeah.
My brain.
running at maximum.
Unless it's like reading it and then saying it. So reading it before I say it, trying to do it without making too many mistakes. But obviously, you could do it word by word, line by line. It's easier if it's already there in front of me. I know how I'm going to say it.
Yeah. Did you enjoy the game when you played it? Out of interest?
Yeah, I really did. I really did, and it's funny, you know, with lines, choices. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did, and I wish I really had more time to play it. But as I say, not often, but I have done is watched some gameplay.
That's the way to do it. You know, if a lot of people like to have it on in the background because your voice. I think there's loads of like ASMR videos out there, which is just, you know,
Really,
just you talking people to sleep. Maybe that's a little side hustle for you, Lenval. You could have your own ASMR YouTube channel. They are all the rage.
I did. You're putting it. So I did enjoy it. Yeah.
Hey, if you carry on, I'll fall asleep here. It's that soothing. So, how did you keep up the motivation? It was a lot of work. I guess you kind of touched on it, right? It was lockdown, so it was your sanity at stake, I guess.
You see, I was getting paid, so that was quite motivating. To the money. No, but apart from that, you know, it was fun. It really was tough, and it was fun. But it was good hanging out with Mikey, and doing it itself was fun. You know, for me to do something like that, it was just a joy and a pleasure to be doing it. You know, so I'd wake up, you know, and I was keen to do it. You know, as I said, every day. So if we're in the studio 3 days a week, the other 4 days I'm reading because there's so much to catch up on. Because I can't, as I said, I couldn't go to the studio and not have read it already.
Yeah.
So, but then in that day I could do 5,000 words. So I had to make sure that I had 5,000 words ready. But then I might do 6,000. So I thought, well, you know, I got to have 8,000 words. So I always had my word count 8,000 ahead. So that, you know, and then sometimes, you know, so I want to do that scene today because there's blah, blah, blah. And then I'm not something ready. So, you know, I'd say, well, I'm not doing it until another day, you know, because, you know, otherwise, you know, so we had to kind of be flexible in how we did it, in how we changed the schedule, because we couldn't really be too flexible with me because I had written prepared so much. So if we didn't do that and we had to do something else, then we couldn't go in the studio that day. I'd have to prepare that.
Okay.
So, because I think I had unprepared, I always had to be prepared, you know. So there wasn't often that you change the schedule or skills to do. You know, there wasn't only skills, you know. I've done objects.
Yeah.
I've done everything.
Yeah.
Every object. That's kept.
Yeah, I mean, like pretty much anything that isn't another character is you, isn't it? Yeah. Have you ever been recognised by your voice in the street?
What do you mean, like if I was in a shop and I said, I have a loaf of bread, please?
Turn around and gone, is that Halflight in my ear?
Excuse me, are you this guy? Yes, that's me. but really, no, nobody's recognised me from my voice. It would have been nice. It'd be nice if someone on the street recognised me. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird. No, I think it would be strange if somebody recognised me.
I suppose it's the same reason radio DJs don't get recognised until...
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Yeah, until you're Chris Moyles or someone.
No, but still, yeah, that's right, exactly. If maybe everyone, you know, because obviously in this country, maybe I don't know how many people, or this country or any country, has heard my voice. Probably a couple of million people, you'd say, whatever, from the game. How many people play the game, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. But then that's a very small percentage, so we're unlikely.
Yeah, the chances you've actually, you know, passing. Yeah, exactly. But hey, do you know what? It would have been a cool story if it was. It
was. Yeah, it would be cool. But yeah, it would be. I mean, the nearest thing to that, I suppose, is I was because I do other things and that's what. You're driving someone, reusing something for someone, and so I was talking to him about what I was doing, like Disco Elysium. He said, "I played that game. It's, you know, it's kind of like really weird." And then my brother, a couple of his friends, a school teacher, and a couple of his colleagues, he told them that, they're like, you're joking, that's your brother, you're joking. And so, that's probably as close as it gets,
Yeah, that's
I
pretty cool.
know why.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember anything being cut from the game, like any specific scenes? I'm guessing from some of the things you told me, it wasn't really something that you would have been able to identify, really.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing is, there's so many words, and as I say, the pathways in the game, I wouldn't know if anything was cut.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't imagine anything was cut because everything was scripted and unchangeable. So wherever because the game had already been made, and the words were already there.
Of course.
It was just, it was
if anything,
just
you added stuff, right? Because the final cut stuff was.
Yeah. They had some more bits to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they might have. Yeah, and I mean they might have got things. I mean there was some things that were in the game which some probably, not really people were saying maybe, which they probably did cut out. I can't probably anything going to say, but it's just like sometimes there's things that just say anything. Well, I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Cool," and they said enough. But yeah, it was very only one or two things. Yeah.
For the next question, I'm going to ask you. I want to try and have some fun with this. So Sly Nobu on YouTube and Vivian Section on Reddit asked what your favourite line or lines that you voiced were. Now, I wouldn't expect you, given what you've told us already about the nature of the process, to really have, you've talked about the Greek, obviously that was quite a funny one for you. So maybe you try and answer it, and then I am going to bring some up and see if you remember them. Okay. How does that sound?
Okay, well, I do remember, but there was some just a nodding. When he was nodding, he nods stoically.
Yeah.
He nods.
Yeah.
And he nods. He nods back and he goes, and it's like he's trying to beat him to the nod or something like that. It was quite funny doing it, When I was doing it, I was almost laughing to myself, because I can visualize it, because at that time, probably it was well into the recording. So there was, maybe by the time we got to about 4 or 5 months into the record, 4 months into the recording, I was sort of like getting it,
Yeah.
And I was getting the jokes and I was understanding more what was going on, within the game. So I suppose that kind of.
Was it the eyebrow battle? Are you thinking of the eyebrow battle?
Eyebrow.
Yeah.
Eyebrows. Yeah, that's it. And then nodding as well. I was that.
They sort of have like a standoff, like an old Western standoff.
Yeah,
because he's trying to get Kim to admit any kind of secret, and I think he kind of raises his eyebrow, and then they have like this, like so I don't know if you know much about this, but like a light beams down. It's just them two, and they're having like this duel of eyebrows. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've actually seen it.
Okay.
I think I saw it on YouTube. Somebody put it up there.
Yeah, that's one of my favourites. And then his big secret is that he smoked a joint once, and Harry's kind of like, "Is that it?"
Through that,
Yeah.
But that's what the game's like, isn't it? It's just sort of like that. So you go and stick with everything.
Well, I think it's a very good way of just showing how much distance there is between being Harry Dubois and Kim Kitsuragi. So like Harry's got all of this electrochemistry firing off, saying you need your speed, you need your booze, and Kim like barely even ventured that way. Okay, there was one talking about complimenting your distinctive cadence to the words you were saying, but we kind of touched on that already, on how you kind of put your stamp on it. But
sorry, I just want to give Cash the director, big credit for this, and Jim Shelby, because they obviously started with directing me, so they helped me with the cadence, and just and making sure that the speeds were correct in delivery,
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's probably more where it came from, then obviously they let me go with it, just set me up and I'll just go.
No, I think that's an important point actually, is that good direction is not something that comes easily, and actors of all dispersions across the medium need good direction. Otherwise, every film would be a hit with Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah, it has to be the direction.
Yeah. No, thank you. Do you have any inspirations as a voice actor? Or, well, let's go with narrator, because I think you're quite you're much more comfortable saying narrator. David Attenborough?
Yeah, I mean, well, David Attenborough, obviously, it's, he's great. I mean, as I say, I like, sort of like, you've got these shows, maybe crime and investigation, and you've got you've got these people who introduce it and they talk and they narrate. I like those kind of things,
You'd be very good at that, I think.
Yeah, I think that's funny because I always just watch these programs. So this is how I didn't get into disco like that, but I mimic some of the things, but in my own voice. I say, like the title of the show would be, I don't know, Yellow Kids. Saying they're,
yeah,
it's Yellow Kids, that's spice. Things like that. So I like those kind of voices like that. I mean, because I don't know the actors I'm not, but there's certain voices I do like, and and I sort of try to so not try to sound like them, but do something using those words, but in my voice.
I think there's part of what they're doing where you go, well, you'd be daft not to take some cues because they're obviously doing it as a profession, right? And they obviously do this a lot. So I think, certainly as someone looking for inspiration, then why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you'd be great with audiobooks, narration, all of that kind of stuff. I think that's absolutely where you'd be suited to. I'd love to see some of that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, there's things going on. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing stuff, and audiobooks is one of those things. Yeah, which is why. I'm actually doing something right now, but I'm keeping my
Yeah, I don't want you to say anything that will get you into trouble, so that's fine.
That's right.
Actually, the next question was, do you have any future projects that you can talk about in TV, movies, or games?
Well, to be honest with you, got some project, but not really that I can talk about.
Okay.
There's things that I'm doing that I've got, at least doing the next few weeks or months, but nothing really like I can actually talk about.
Okay. Then I will.
I'm doing stuff or trying to do stuff or.
I think that's I think what the audience are looking for out of that question. I think it's fair to say, like, we haven't seen you in like 1,000 games since Disco Elysium, right? And I think some of us who are huge fans of what you've done kind of expected you to be in a lot more on the back of it because of how much of an amazing job you did. And I think they're kind of they're wishing this for you rather than.
To be absolutely, to be fair, I mean, I'm sure people are, but I haven't got an agent or anything, so I just go by, people contacting me. I suppose if I had an agent, I'd probably have, do more stuff, but
less money,
as I'm quite easygoing and not. Yeah, exactly. So, at the moment, it's fine for me. I mean, things are happening, in a good pace. I'm slow at doing everything. So, I'll get these things where I can do this and do that, and I'll say, I won't answer emails for ages.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that I've got time to do it. Because as soon as I answer, I'm going to say yes. So I've got to try and organize myself better. But yeah, I mean, I really want to do more. I mean, there's people out there who want to hear more of me. I'm really pleased to hear that. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying everything I can to do more. And as soon as I've got any news for you, you'll be the first to know. The lot of you.
And everybody should make sure they follow you, obviously, on Twitter at Lenval B.
Yeah. Because I will definitely, will definitely follow you back.
And Twitter, of course, has your contact details for anybody who wants the best voice in gaming to be on their game.
Well, I appreciate it.
Anything I can do to to help. So this is an interesting one. Flip Flops on YouTube asks, how do you feel about the rising prevalence of AI voice generators, which have and are capable of replicating your voice? How does that make you feel, just generally?
Currently, it is kind of, I wouldn't say a worry, because that's technology, isn't it? And it makes things life easier for people. Then that's fair enough. And as far as doing, copying someone's voice and I mean, there's not much to do. If people want that, then that's what they're going to get. But I would imagine that eventually people may not necessarily want that. It'll be set for certain things and certain, copying certain things, because obviously it's trying to make things original, trying to make things quicker. It's not going to be original. So it's just whether people are ready to accept it or not. There's nothing anyone can do about it unless people reject it. If people are accepting it, then it's just part of it. It's just part of life and progress or non-progress for some people, because obviously it'll stop some people, but then on the other hand, it will make life better for some other people. So it's a hard thing to comment on, because it's early days, really.
No,
I'm 10 years' time, people,
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. My day job is very tech based, and I feel like AI's got a bad name now, because obviously in the artistic artistic pursuits, I completely get being annoyed that maybe your art has contributed to people winning awards for AI art, and it's like, well, you all you've done is type in some text, and I can see why people get annoyed. In the example of your voice being used, I don't think I've seen that used anywhere but like a silly meme or funny video. I don't think anyone's trying to do a full production by stealing your voice. And I've heard
the meme box, and I thought it sounded before. I didn't actually sound like me. It kind of sounded, it had the just the way I say things, so I break things up in the way I break up the words. So it didn't actually sound like me, just the tone did, but it didn't actually sound like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'll make it actually sound like someone really, in a way, maybe the tone, but then the way they deliver. Unless, of course, it's someone really famous, they can do a complete study of. They can only study a portion of this voice. They might be able to do throughout the whole game, but then each is different. So you won't be able to, so you get a tone and you get the cadence. That's what I feel with AI to a point. Yeah, it will sound like it tone, because it's like notes and tones. Yeah, so it'll just tone your voice.
But it can never replicate it, really. You can get somewhere close, but not the real.
Yeah, that's real. It's human, we're humans.
Yeah, and you can tell, can't you? I mean, anybody can tell that, whether it's AI or not.
Yeah.
AC Aces on Twitter asks, did you have to try and separate yourself from some of the darker thoughts and lines?
Really, because there's so many lines, it was very easy to just do the line and forget about it. It was so easy. It was the easiest thing of all, was just to do it, really focus on doing it, and then forget about it. Even to the point where I forget about it, and I do the line, I might do it 10 times, and then when I read back the script the next day or read something, I think, did I actually say that? I just can't remember saying it, because I was so focused in doing it. But all these lines that when as I said, I watched the game or played the game, and there's I say lines, and I just don't remember saying it. I just can't. Because we get where society just comes, so it's just like as it comes, and then I do it, blah, blah, blah. It's gone, like completely gone out of my brain. Where it's gone, it's just gone. Yeah, it's just too much.
So you didn't have to, basically.
As I say, So I would say with that, so if someone's acting in the film or something, they have to learn the lines, or whatever, and then that way they can get attached to it. Because they learn in the line, they put it in themselves, so that they say it on a cue, to say it, and it's there in their mind, and it's there. I'm just reading it, so I can read it and just forget about it. That's it. That's how it went. So unfortunately, No, I didn't have the darker parts of it. I wish I could tell you, like, I felt that. Yeah, it's nice. The darker side.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone was hoping for. It's like, oh, I hit the bottle really hard because Harry kept telling me to drink. No, you didn't suddenly become a hobo cop, which is good, and that's good.
Well, I took a profession.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you feel like, the skills were individual characters? We talked a little bit about this already. I'm just trying to make sure all the questions are covered. But yeah, did you feel at the time that they were all individuals? Was it presented in that way by Cash, etc.?
Yeah. I mean, it was presented. Because it was always going to be my voice. So he was always trying to find a way to make it different. So obviously I was told that it was different. Because obviously once I started. Yeah, I remember correctly. I think we started something like Incubation or Inland Empire or something like that.
Yeah.
And so, starting there and then, we did each character and then came back to some. So it was kind of easy to just, do the last one and then the next one is change the voice a bit, maybe a bit lower, maybe a bit quicker.
Yeah.
You put the gaps, longer gap, more deeper in the words. More pronounced. As I say, we've done drama, more emphasis on certain words, and more, more. It's drama, so I was like more.
Yeah, a bit more, cadence to it, and a bit more adventure in the tone. Yeah, and you can tell that. I mean, I think what you did was amazing.
Yeah, because as I say, with the director Cash, so. He was like, you can have fun with this one, No, because it's like, it was more like freer.
Yeah. It's kind of thespian, isn't he? Drama.
Yeah, thespian, right. Exactly. So I think drama, so acting side is when we put a bit more into it in terms of acting. The others are more calm, trying to stay calm and stay consistent. My liege.
Oh, right. I love the way the drama talks to Harry. It's great.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Definitely, I did enjoy doing that one.
Did you
electrochemistry?
Yeah, electrochemistry is fantastic because obviously it's just lust and desire, and right. your connection to drug taking and just being a reprobate, basically.
Yeah, bad boy with the agent. Yeah, bad boy.
Yeah, bad boy. Yeah, exactly.
Your mum don't want you to hang out.
No, absolutely not. No. This is quite a funny one, and I saw that you liked this, actually, when it was asked of you on Twitter. Kibaru, I hope I pronounced that right. When you make chocolate milk, Lenval, you put the milk in first or the chocolate first?
Man, so this question made it, huh?
I know.
This question made it.
I tell you what.
I dreaded it. For a few days, I'll be, I hope I don't get that question. I don't know, what would I do? It's really.
Yeah, we're into the tough questions now, Lenval. Obviously,
tough question. Right. And I did say at the time, it's impertinent.
Yeah,
but it's okay. I'll answer it. My answer is, I don't drink hot chocolate.
There you go. See, I had the exact same answer lined up. So because I knew or suspected you'd get out of it that way. I have a much more British question for you. Do you put the milk in before the water when you make a cup of tea?
I've got to put the water in or the milk. Obviously with tea bag. Obviously I put it from the pot. I know you pour in.
Kettle. Because obviously the pot, it's all brewed beforehand, right?
I'm right saying, yeah. So you put it tea bag, and then you pour water, and then you put milk.
Okay, so we haven't got a psychopath. I know. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have to end the podcast here and now when you said milk first.
But
milk first with coffee?
Yeah, no, right not.
No, interesting.
Milk last.
Interesting.
Get the right texture and colour, otherwise you can't. I don't know.
Just in case anyone's stumbled.
Goes,
just in case anyone stumbled into the podcast at this point, it is a Disco Elysium podcast. We're not. It's not.
but tea bags.
Exactly.
Talking about tea bags.
Hey, there's important stuff. People need to know where we stand on these issues, Lenval.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you improvise anything? Lolotov Cocktail, which is an amazing name on Twitter, Asat. Did you improvise any of those lines?
No, there's no improvisation. As I said, everything was already in the game from before the final.
Yeah, so they couldn't veer away from it, could they?
So it was so there was nothing improvised. I couldn't change anything. That was it. Yeah, I just had to say what was in front of me, exactly what was on the page. Wish I could have improvised. I wish I could say it. So yeah, no improvisation, I'm afraid.
Okay. Only a few questions left. Okay, so we're getting towards the end.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's a hard slog. Well, I'm getting.
Yeah, we're nearly there. Thank you. I know it's a lot of your free time, so I do appreciate it. Do you have any amusing or interesting anecdotes from your time making the game? Is there anything that when you see Mikey Goodman, do you then go, bloody hell? Do you remember that?
Oh, I suppose not really. Apart from the fact, it was really hard some days. We really grew up and knackered towards the end of the day. But really, it was funny most days because, as I say, Mike's really entertaining. So we would say, 10 till 6 or whatever. We'd start recording at 10:30 or whatever. We'd record for 45 minutes, and then we'd have a break because I can't steer out of that. I have to stop, have a break, But then in between the break, when we always having breaks or lunch, we'd just sit and talk and just have a laugh. And Mike would have these stories and he could communicate really well. But then he could do impressions of everyone in disco, like every the people who work there. So like he could do Cash. Obviously Cash might hear this. You do Cash's. His accent.
His accent.
And he'd do the text. Sorry, he'd do that. And up laughing, and then someone from the staff, you just do the voice straight away, And so I'll just get him to do impressions, we just be having a laugh. It was just a complete laugh, So I couldn't really put my finger on anything, but it was always just a fun day, at the studio, and just fun,
Basically, Mikey is a great person to have around, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, that's right. It was great. Yeah, that's right. It just made it, fun. So every day was fun, and every day had something.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. This is an interesting one from Caleb Dreams, and I guess I'd kind of like to know this as well. Did anyone confirm? So there's obviously Mikey did Ancient Reptilian Brain, the limbic system, and the spinal cord, which are obviously subconscious sort of parts of who Harry is, and you did the communication from his thoughts. Yeah. Was it ever defined that any of them were Harry's voice?
No, nobody's ever said that was Harry's voice. I presumed it wasn't. First of all, I thought, because when they explained it to me, they said the main character and voices in his head, kind of thing, they explained it to me as I would imagine it was his voice, but they never said it was his voice. I always imagined that his voice was whoever was playing the game.
Yeah, interesting, because it's a good point you make, because in the game, if you select options that are you don't get a voice. You never actually hear what he says to Kim or whoever he's talking to, but the brain will respond, and it doesn't. Yeah, I think that's an interesting.
Yeah, it's the voice is the voice in the head, and it's the same voice. It's just a different character, But then, when you speak to yourself in your head, what voice do you hear? Do you hear your voice speaking? I don't know. You just hear a voice.
I hear yours now.
Yeah, that's it. But you hear my voice, but most of the time, when you're thinking, but I suppose it's one voice there. Yeah. It's funny because when I must say that I did kind of like, when I first started to record, I was going to studio at night time, I'd still have the voice. Yeah. And I would actually hear the voice in my sleep. I would. And I'd wake up. I'd be sleeping. And then I'd jump up and I could have sworn I heard someone say, "You're sweating in your sleep." So, I was like, You said that. I don't know if I fucking know this voice is my voice.
Oh, amazing.
And, you know, so yeah, I mean, I sort of got over it quite quickly after a while. I thought, you know, can't be, you know. No, but to be honest with you, yeah, I mean, yeah, I did a lot, so I did hear it a lot. Voice, I was speaking, you know, because when I was reading it, you know, I had to read it in the voice,
Yeah.
wishes or whatever, you know. And then in the morning when I woke up before I went to the studio, make sure I had to read for an hour, so I'd sit there and I have to do the voice. I mean, I try and read it normally, but it's just like naturally just.
Yeah, you sort of, yeah, you're in the zone, aren't you? It's all consuming.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, on the train, you know, marking off, not talking on the train. Just, I'd really been talking at home. When I was on the train, I'd do some marking, just catch up. Always trying to catch up. At any moment, I just wanted it so that when at the end, you know, when I had 3 days where I do no writing or a week, that I could just go to the studio and not have to worry about afterwards. You know, so I tried to keep it in my head so that I'd have at least 1 or 2 days where I didn't have to do anything and write.
Yeah.
In reading or in the studio. It was kind of tough, but you know, there was a lot to do. But you know, it was fun. As I said, it was fun. It was to do.
Yeah. No, it sounds like you had a great time doing it. Do you have a favourite character in the game?
Yeah. Well, actually, I think like is it Everard?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's just a funny character. Like, go, it's the war. It's the war. I don't remember his stuff, but you know, just to make me laugh. You know, they're going in talking in like kind of a devious character and like dodgy things going on, and you know, and it's like yeah. And also, I did like you know, Gart.
Gart, the man with the unimpressive beard.
And, you know, that's right.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, there's some few characters that, you know, I didn't really get deeply into the game to get through everyone. I mean, it's like you had all these people, or you know, obviously Measurehead was one I couldn't be in, but I've seen people be in. I've seen them, and I think Cameron.
Yeah,
but you know,
you can do it.
Well, yeah.
That's what's quite funny, I think, in the game is like the challenge of beating him in a physical battle was quite tough. So it gives you the other option of basically turning racist, and it ends up like most players end up like inadvertently becoming racist, and they're like, no, I just wanted to get past the door.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an option, isn't it? You know.
Yeah,
option,
advanced race theory or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's advanced race.
Yeah, no, it's very funny. I have to say, Dot Major did Kuno, right? Kuno was probably one that I enjoyed the most. For people who don't know, and I don't know how common not like you were the band London Grammar.
No, but I know that he
was in it, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like looking at this game and going through the cast. Obviously, yourself very musical, Mikey very musical, Dot very musical, and obviously there was Sea Power who did the soundtrack. A lot of really cool British music connections to the game, actually, which I think I find it fascinating. Like London Grammar are not. I'm sure they've won Grammys and stuff, so they're no small group.
Well, the same with Mikey's just said it. He talked about Mikey should be on the show, but he's well connected, you know, and I think he sort of connected with Dot, and you know, as I say, he got most of the cast.
It's just through him knowing people.
Well, yeah, and he done a lot of auditions and stuff, and chose people, and through his agency as well. It was called Caratoon before his agency.
Caratoon, yes, that's right. Yeah, it was called Caratoon for the Voice Elysium.
So yeah, I mean, So he was, he's got connection musically to a lot of people.
Yeah,
and I think he found a lot of people through his contacts there.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Fascinating. Did you like the soundtrack, by the way? Just out of interest, you're obviously a musical man.
Yeah. No, definitely. You know, I found it quite the ideas and the musical ideas, how they constructed it and they put it together. It's quite brilliant, actually.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's certain tracks that go with certain characters, and
the artwork. I mean, I'm say the artwork is specific, you know, and I see there's a lot of people now. Twitter especially, inspired by the art, and it's beautiful art. And a lot of people, I mean, I said a lot of my followers these days that I've noticed that a lot of them are like artists. So
Yeah, I was talking about this actually this week, and just how much of a connection the game has with artistic people, because every inch of it, it's basically a novel. It's kind of hand drawn and painted. It's got a beautiful soundtrack that kind of fits everything, and it really is like an artistic kind of just.
it is.
Everything just seemed to come together perfectly, didn't it, for the game?
I mean, I was saying the first time I saw it, I thought, wow, this is amazing. The strokes and the artwork.
It's weird because we see hand drawn stuff, and we saw a lot of it in like the 90s, but it was still kind of there's an abstract nature to Disco Elysium which we hadn't really seen before. Everything's normally like really kind of defined and more like a cartoon you'd see on TV, but I think just the nature of the game and everything it was going for, it was absolutely beautiful. Probably my favourite thing about it, actually.
Definitely up there with one of the most
with the narration. That and the narration, yeah.
Yeah, of course. I didn't want to mention it. Didn't want to say it.
Last question, actually, because I've already asked you about audiobooks. This is the last question.
Well, not just because actually I do want to elaborate on audio, but I am doing a recording audiobook at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a friend of mine, but I've been recording it for a while, and it's a very difficult thing to do, record an audiobook.
Yeah.
It really is difficult. There's a lot. So, but yeah, I mean, I do audiobooks, but they're kind of, it's a lot of words and a lot of work. So really, to do that, the price is quite high to do that. But
yeah, I mean, you're talking like huge amounts of words there, aren't you?
Yeah, like 70,000 words or whatever. So and then obviously in an audiobook, it's not just narration. Obviously, there'll be some characters in there and whatever. So that has to be done with. So I am working on one at the moment, but it's sort of been put on hold for a while because probably I thought so.
I think people need to understand that it's not easy at all. Like, I think maybe people, they look at some of those things that are kind of, they feel like they're not 9 to 5 from the outside, but actually you're probably doing more hours, and there's like a mental strain on doing that kind of thing that can't really be measured in this. Like if you know a bricklayer and he says, I put down 27 walls today, you kind of go, okay, I can feel that. But when someone says 70,000 words, it doesn't necessarily always register with people that that's quite tasking, but it absolutely is.
No, absolutely is. You can only do a certain amount of words in an hour, sort of, say, or 5 minutes, or whatever time. You've got. So as you calculate 70,000 words, and you say, right, how many hours is that going to take? So yeah, it's a lot of work. But I've started one. That's lots of shit. But yeah, I mean, I'm not doing stuff if somebody's got a lot of money to pay me. They have to do it.
No, and I think we should absolutely make it known that you're available. And I'll repeat again that people should follow you on social media at Lenval B, and there is also contact details on there. So there will no doubt be people in gaming and development that hear this. So don't forget that Lenval Brown's out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here.
He's here. And he's ready. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau is ready.
Raphael Ambrosius.
See, I could do this all day, to be honest, Lenval. One more question. And
okay, brilliant. Yeah.
Lots of people wanted to praise you for your work on Ultra Kill as Sisyphus Prime.
Oh yeah.
Which I didn't realise was a game. Hilariously, I thought people kept mentioning Ultra Kill too, like on YouTube. People would always say, "Is that Sisyphus Prime?" And I'd be like, "Apparently, yes. I don't know, but people keep asking me, so I'm guessing it is." But the question actually was, well, first of all, they wanted to praise you for the work you did on that, and I did watch some clips, and it's quite amazing. It's quite a funky game, actually, like a Doom inspired sort of classic take, isn't it?
I remember. It's got so many. I'm telling you, the fandom on that is just crazy.
Yeah, people really love you for that. Yeah,
Some
it gets mentioned all the time, Lenval, on the channel. So yeah, I thought we had to make sure that was put out there. But yeah, the final question: are there any franchises that you dream of working on, be it gaming, TV, movies, or whatever?
maybe just kind of maybe some nature programs and just do some nature things.
I honestly, and I'm obviously biased because I'm a huge Disco Elysium fan, but you are the only person that I think I would accept replacing David Attenborough when he eventually stops doing his. You telling me about a lion in the Serengeti hunting?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right up my alley.
Yeah, do sometimes actually I put the subtitles on things sometimes and I just start reading it.
See, I love that. I love that. That's amazing.
I think that's where, because I used to do it to my daughter, my daughter. So I should read her stories,
Yeah.
all the time. And my kids always just read books and stuff. So I'll do all the characters in it, and I'll do it. But she never ever she'd all fall asleep.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'll start talking about it. So she'll be asleep and I'll still be reading it.
Yeah. We've all been there. We've all been there. Yeah, that's sweet. Well, that was the last question, Lenval. I still can't quite believe I've just had an hour and a half conversation with the main narrator from. In fact,
full match. Yes.
The exact timestamp is 1 hour 51 minutes. So I'm really, really grateful for your time.
That's old football match and extra time.
Exactly, yeah. Was it the Euros or the World Cup where they were extending games by about 19 minutes or something daft like that every time? I remember at the time I was banging up for it. My dad was always complaining like, "Oh, they should be ending the game." I was like, "It's got another 19 minutes. Like, what's the matter with you? Like, come on, it's good fun." Yeah. No, I really appreciate your time. Honestly,
I really appreciate you calling me on. Yeah, brilliant.
It's been a blast. So the message to everyone is keep your eye out for more episodes of Human Can Opener. Hopefully, this is the start of something beautiful.
Yes, I hope that, you can get all your guests on, and I'll try and, put my word in to anyone I might know that you might want.
So full disclosure, Mikey was scheduled to come on first, and then he's like, oh, I'm really busy at the moment. I'm sorry, which I completely understand. And he kind of said, well, maybe Lenval would give it a go. I said, I'm talking to Lenval, don't worry, I'm talking to Lenval. But I'm hoping if you give him a nudge and say, "Oh, David's a great guy. You'll really enjoy your time," then we're cooking on gas.
Oh, it's another thing I want to mention quickly.
Yeah, go on.
I mean, I haven't got the full details as yet, but I'll probably somehow let people know on Twitter. Is that I'm going to be doing a playthrough of the game.
Ooh.
Right, with some organisation. They're actually raising money. People in Gaza.
Amazing! That is absolutely amazing.
And I've agreed to do a live playthrough. It being the third week in October.
Right.
So and what I'll do is because obviously I'm just still making contacts and organising how we're going to do it because it's not hard to do that. But yeah, it'd be fun to do and to try and raise money for families. And it's a legitimate, people, organisation.
Yeah. That will
ways to raise money. So yeah, I mean, I haven't got any money to give them, so I'll say no.
Yeah. No, that will resonate with a lot of people in the audience.
I'm
sure you've seen on social media. I mean, everybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
fully supports Gaza and hopes that we can free Palestine. Because it's absolutely insane to think that there are people on the other side of that argument, to be honest.
Absolutely. It's crazy. And, we are really lucky in our lives. I mean, so these people are really unfortunate. And it's our privilege because everyone cares and everyone wants to help, I suppose. But it's just, all these governments and all these people who should be doing stuff ain't doing anything. So it's down to the people to try and help, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, I think there's, a lot to be said for that. People power is absolutely you know, a force to be reckoned with. And I just wish that governments behaved in the same way instead of playing to galleries, which is deeply frustrating, as I'm sure.
It's sad and upsetting.
It loses sight of what's important, doesn't it? So, no, I think that's amazing. I think the community will respond to that really, really well. So,
as soon as I got full details, I'll let everyone know. Because there'll be links and whatever.
Yeah, of course. All right, and we'll do everything we can to make sure that as many people join that as possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Lenval.
Thank you, man.
That's a great note to end on. So thank you to everyone who's listened or watched on YouTube, and look forward to the next episode.
Yeah. Look.
Thank you. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.